Well. Hello and good evening, everyone. We want people to come on in. We're going to give a few minutes and we're going to get started. I'm so excited. So, if you're watching live or if you're following the replay, I just want to say welcome to our community where we are stressing, as it says on the screen, culturally affirming books. So very excited. So very excited about our second annual African American Children's Book Festival, which will be on September the 8th. I'm sorry, September the 19th, um, from 12 to 3 p.m. It is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We want you to register, please, because we have some incredible book bundles that we're going to be giving away each hour. And then we have some surprises that we're going to be giving away. If you attended it last year, you know we had an amazing good time. We have some phenomenal young authors that are going to be joining us. We have some phenomenal adult authors that are going to be joining us. And we have some phenomenal guest panelists that's going to be talking about the relevance of culturally affirming books. They're so very needed and so very important. I was educated for 28 years, so I can vouch and tell you. So tonight, I told you we're going to talk about a change agent today. So tonight, we're going to talk about none other than civil rights leader and hero activist John Lewis. This book is by Jim Haskins. And Jim, actually, he's deceased now, but he had over 100 books for adults and for children. So he was very prolific and he was very much into making sure that, again, culturally affirming books were out. And you've been with us and been listening, you might know the statistics that I said 2 decades ago, only 9% of the books that were published, and we're not talking about self-published, we're talking about actually from a publishing house, only 9% of them were people of color. So not just African American, people of color. Now it's a little bit better. You know, we got to the 21st century, we got into the new millennium, and it moved up to like 22. They say anywhere from 22 to 24%, but it's still less than 25%. And that's all, again, people of color. So not just African American. So it's very important that we push the publishers to, again, spotlight more, and we start supporting our indie authors. So tonight, I'm not going to be with you long. I'm going to read the book and I'm going to share some more information about our book festival. We want you to go to the link below. It's going to launch you to the page to register. You need to be registered to win. And again, every hour we're going to be giving away prizes. And every hour we're going to be giving away book bundles. When I say bundles, I'm talking about a nice costly amount of books in a bundle, theme related. Our first theme at 12 o'clock is Dream It. And we're going to be encouraging our young people to dream it. Yes, they can be and do anything they want to be and do. And we have a powerful, when I say powerful, young author that is going to be reading his book and talking about his venture of becoming an entrepreneur before he was 10 years old. Amazing. And then we're going to, at 1 o'clock, have the theme, I Will Rise. And we're going to focus on books that are featuring characters that are resilient. And then the last hour, oh, wait a minute. So we have in there some great youth authors too, as well, that's going to be reading their books about how they rose to the occasion. And then the last hour, we're going to be talking about the theme is I Am the Change, and we're going to be featuring change agents. And this one is one of the books that's in the book bundle. So John Lewis was definitely a change agent. So we're going to have a live DJ. We're going to have a panel of guests talking about the importance of books. We have a phenomenal spoken word artist. She's 10 years old. And when I say she's talented and she can do anything, oh, she's all that in a bag of chips. And so you don't want to miss it. We want to get our children in front of it. We want to encourage them. So please, 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 if you're on right now, say something to us. Say something to the people that come on and watch the replay. So say hi, right? Before I get on into the book, I'm going to say hi. Let's see who's going to say hi back. All right, my sister, how you doing? Yes, yes. Please have her connect with me, especially if she is a children's book author as well. Please make sure you share this with anybody that has a Black-owned business that is supporting have services or products for families or children. We're spotlighting them. We're going to spotlight them for free. So please have them. I'll put the email address. It's bjackson@ubuntupress.org. So again, bjackson@ubuntupress.org. They can reach me and they can spotlight their stuff. All right. So I see some people coming in. All right. All the way from Kalamazoo, one of my old friends. How you doing there, Mark, tonight? Again, come on in and invite people. Please tag parents, grandparents. We want to get as many, it's virtual. So we should be able to get as many people on as possible. All right. So again, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a live DJ. Oh, we're going to be playing a virtual game where, again, we have a really great prize. I don't want to tell you. I'm going to tell it the week before, but we have a great surprise and a great opportunity for the young people to get engaged. So again, if you have young people, please get them registered today. Get them registered today. And I might do something for those first 100 people that register. We don't have 100 registrations yet. And so we just opened it up. This is day number 7. So again, you register, we're going to have some special things that we're going to be doing. So you register tonight. Let me put it like that. Everybody that's on here tonight, I love day 7. Day 7 means completion. So if you register tonight, I'm going to send you a special gift. So please register your family, your child, and they can be blessed. All right, we're going to read real quick. John Lewis. It's a chapter book. I'm not going to read all the chapters. I'm only going to read the first 3, but he has a phenomenal story. Walking with the Wind. John Lewis was born at a time when the winds of change were blowing, just waiting for someone to catch them, hold on long enough for everyone to feel the breeze. It was another wind altogether that blew one day when John was a little boy. He was playing in the dirt yard of his Aunt Seneva's house with many of his brothers, sisters, and cousins. The sky began to cloud over and the wind started to pick up. In the distance, lightning flashed. Then came a loud clap of thunder and a torrent of rain. Come on inside, quick, children, said Aunt Seneva, and she hustled them all into her small wooden house. Look at that. Look at that wind. And so the illustrator of this book is Aaron Boyd. He has some beautiful illustrations. Inside, Aunt Seneva and the children huddled together, hushed, listening to the wind howl and feeling the house shake. Suddenly, they felt the floor move. The wind was so strong, it lifted a corner of the house, trying to pull it into the sky. Aunt Seneva started to cry, and the children began to sob too. Then Aunt Seneva gathered her courage. Everybody, hold hands, she called. And the frightened children did as they were told. Now we got to move over to that corner. And they hurried to the other corner. And the combined weight of their bodies settled the house back down. Soon another corner began to lift from the force of the wind, so they rushed over to that corner. Each time the wind lifted part of the house, Aunt Seneva and the children held it down. Holding hands, they walked with the wind until the danger had passed. The storm didn't last long, but John never forgot that day. Beautiful illustrations. Chapter 2, Learning to Preach. In 1945, when John turned 5, he was put in charge of the family's chickens. Did you hear? He's working at 5 years old. He had to take care of about 60 animals on the farm near Troy, Alabama, where his family lived as sharecroppers. They worked on the white man's land in return on a white man's land in return for a place to live and share of the crops that grew. John was happy and proud to have his job. He liked chickens and took his responsibility very seriously. He carried buckets of feed to the hen house. He kept it clean. He named each chicken. Two of his favorites were Big Bell and Lil Pullet. At night, to quiet the chickens, John preached to them. He wanted to be a minister, and this was a good way to practice. John's habit of giving sermons in the chicken coop earned him the nickname Preacher. Look at that beautiful picture. During the time John was growing up, the South was segregated. Black people were kept apart from the white people. It was against the law for blacks to eat in white restaurants. Black children could not go to the same schools as white children. Black people had to sit in the backs of public buses and give their seats to whites if the white seats in the front were filled. John realized that segregation was keeping his family from having a better life. This made him angry, but his parents warned John to stay quiet. Don't get in trouble, they said. Don't get in the way. One day when he was 15, he heard Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the radio. Dr. King was a preacher in Montgomery, Alabama, and he was talking about the bus boycott. Black people in Montgomery had stopped riding the buses to protest bus segregation. When Dr. King said segregation was wrong, John felt as though Dr. King was speaking directly to him, telling him it was time to get in the way. Now, you see, his parents just said, don't get in the way. He said he was telling him to get in the way. It was time to turn things upside down in order to set them right side up. And then there's some pictures about sharecropping. And then chapter 3, the last chapter we're going to read. Getting in the way. Inspired by Dr. King, John took his first steps to protest segregation. He asked for a library card at his county public library, knowing that Black people were not allowed to have cards. John was not surprised that the librarian said that the library was for whites only. Then he went home and wrote the library a letter of protest. You see how important reading is? If you're listening and you're a youngster and even an adult, again, as Blacks, we weren't allowed to be in public libraries unless we had our own. That's why reading is so very important. After graduating from high school in 1957, John went to Nashville, Tennessee to study to become a minister. He wrote to Dr. King, who invited him to visit him in Montgomery. When they met, Dr. King said that they could fight injustice and segregation peacefully. He told John to study the life of Gandhi, who had led nonviolent protests in India. John liked Gandhi's idea of nonviolent resistance as a way to bring about social change. With this in mind, John organized sit-ins at lunch counters where Blacks were not allowed to eat with whites. In 1961, he joined the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, SNCC. The students went on freedom rides to challenge segregation at interstate bus terminals. Blacks and whites sat next to each other on buses that traveled from state to state. John's commitment to nonviolence would soon be tested. In May 1961, a bus carrying John and other freedom riders arrived at the Montgomery, Alabama bus station. John was the first one off the bus. Aside from a group of news reporters and the streets were strangely deserted. John had just begun to deliver a statement to the reporters when suddenly hundreds of white people came running from behind buildings and around corners, waving baseball bats, bricks, boards, tire irons, hoes, and rakes, and they screamed out insults. "Let's all stand together," John cried as the mob attacked the freedom riders. Someone hit John on the head with a wooden crate, and he fell to the ground. After being treated at the local hospital, John was anxious. to rejoin his group and carry on. The brutal attack was big news, and Dr. King was concerned. He rushed to Montgomery and tried to convince John to protest to protect himself and to stop the riots, but John would not. So, with a bandaged and bruised John Lewis at his side, Dr. King held a press conference to announce that the freedom rides would continue. And so, if you like this book, you can order it. It's not that costly of a book, but it's very important to honor the legacy of the great John Lewis. Now, he was alive when Jim Haskins wrote this book. I want to say this book was written in 2006, I believe. And so there's multiple chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 chapters. So I read 3. And so you can read again more. But the back of the cover, I want to read it real quick. It says, "This is the story of a boy who walked with the wind. This is the story of a man who stood up to injustice. This is the story of a leader who refused to back down. This is the story of a congressman who keeps marching forward." Now, we know we lost him, but we have his legacy. So again, if you want to teach your children about a mighty civil rights activist, this is a great book to be able to do that. And so we so appreciate you all joining us tonight. Again, go down to the bottom, right there. Oops. Right there, right there, right there, right there, going across that way, is the information to sign up for the book festival. We definitely hope to see you there. And we want to have as many people there as possible, especially since it is virtual. Now, one of the things that we are doing is sponsored by Kingdom Influence, and I always do this, and then I can't move my hand the right way. So right there is our logo. Kingdom Influence is a nonprofit organization here in the city of Flint, and one of our programs is called It's Lit, and our goal is to put books in the homes of children. And so we are adopting families and we're helping them with literacy, because we don't want to be a part of the tragic statistic. If you don't know me and you're signing on, I have been in education for almost 30 years, and it's a tragedy, to see that illiteracy is still going on. And we want to eradicate illiteracy. We want to stop it in its tracks. And the best way to do that is reading, reading, reading. As a school administrator, I admonish my children to read anywhere from 20 minutes to 60 minutes a day outside of school. And that will really, really help. And so we ask that you encourage our young people to read. Please, please, please sign up. Again, for those that sign up tonight, if you're watching even the replay, the offer is to you too. I will send something special to your children. Just please make sure when you register, it does say how many children and everything, put that in there, and I will make sure I send something very special to them. Thank you again for being with us for day number 7. I love 7. 7 is the number of completion. And, we couldn't honor a better person tonight. He completed his mission with the words, "Job well done. Well done, my good and faithful servant." He did a lot for social justice, and we appreciate the life and legacy of John Lewis. So again, thank you for being here with us tonight. Please join us for the book festival, which is September 19th from noon to 3 p.m. When I say it's going to be on, oh my God, you don't want to miss the youth talent that we have a part of this. They are absolutely amazing, amazing. So again, thank you. If you know people that have Black businesses, ask them to email me at just B Jackson at my Ubuntu Press one. B Jackson at ubuntupress.org. If they email me, we will get with them and we will start spotlighting some Black businesses on our lives on next week. If you know of any authors, children authors that have Black characters, again, forward that information. Again, good night, have a good evening, and God bless. Oh, you can't see the web address? I'm not hanging up yet. So there it is in the link too as well. And again, people can reach out to me if they need more information as well. Again, good night. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your valuable time. You could have been doing anything else, but you came on to support literacy. Thank you. Have a good night.